Hello everyone! Good morning. I am here again, Ma'am Juvay Agustin, as your instructor on your free elective class. So I would like to officially welcome you to our free elective class. So what is this IT free elective class all about? So this course introduces the basic principles of accounting theory and practice, emphasizing the sole proprietorship form of business. Primary areas of study including the theory of debit and credit, accounts and special journals, the accounting cycle, notes, interest, receivables, inventory, assets, and the preparation of financial statements. So the purpose of this course is to give the student a basic understanding of the theories, principles, and applications of accounting. This course will also help to develop your analytical problem-solving skills and ethical decision-making skills. To that end, after completing this course, you might become one of the demands of your career as a better bookkeeper or an IT accounting professional. So, let's move on to our first lesson on accounting principle. Now, I know that you are already questioning yourself why IT ako ma'am, bakit may accounting subject? Di ba para sa accountancy lang yan? Okay? So, those are the questions that might bothering you right now. But eventually, no? Eventually, you are asking yourself, anong purpose ito sa akin? Anong relevance nito sa akin bilang isang IT student? What could be its importance later on pag ako ay nakagraduate sa IT? Well, let's see and try to find out why and what its purpose and its relevance. So yes, I know every semester that I teach this class, you are really questioning yourself why. But apparently, in your day-to-day life, you might not be wondering, but basic accounting has to do with your financial matters every day. Take it already as a consideration that we are all acquiring and spending money, it might be little or more. Therefore, we are considered financial users. Like for example, if you were asked by your mama to go to palengke, syempre, anong gagawin mo sa palengke? Mamamalengke ka. And your mama has given you 500 pesos. To buy what? To buy food supply, for example, for the entire week. Take note, 500 pesos for the entire week. Magkakasya ba? So afterwards, you're going to think and decide, paano magkakasyang 500 pesos? So what are you going to do? Budget. You're going to do budgeting para magkasya ang 500 pesos sa pambili ng pagkain sa buong linggo. And then, afterwards, you buy for the food supply. Pagdating mo ng bahay, anong gagawin ni mama? I-audit ka. So, you are going to do auditing report. You're going to classify the items. Like, for example, for talong, 30 pesos per kilo. For kamatis, okay? For tinapa, for tuyo, or let's say meat, and so forth and so on. So, that is already part of auditing kung saan napunta ang 500 pesos mo. Another is, we already know for a fact that we are eventually doing basic mathematics in our everyday life, which apparently doing also some basic accounting, like thinking how much would you spend for your load to use for your online learning. Will it be possible for you to use 500 or 50 pesos load in a week or so? So basically, we've already encountered accounting, we just don't know it. Plus, in the IT world, IT professionals are bound to have a multitasking job since accounting also now used advanced technologies to easily compute or have results of operations of a certain business entity, which then provides you to do a system. So you are not just later on be a financial user, but you can be also a system provider because you are going to be an IT professional. One of which is our school. One of the very relevant example is our school now using SIAS or yung LMS. Okay? And in that SIAS and LMS, it is very transparent to you. You can see your accounts, you can see your grades, and so forth and so on. So that is one example. And of course, in your future endeavor, you might use this basic in your workplace kasi sabi ko nga kanina, we are on a multitasking job. So to further understand, of course, let's try to define what is accounting, and we have 3 definitions actually. Okay? 3 definitions in order for us to know and understand its relevance and purposes to you as a student and as a financial user. First definition is accounting is considered to be a service activity. Service activity. Why? Because it has a function to provide information about economic entities. What are these economic entities? Of course, these are small businesses, these are big corporations, or in a different form like industry, institution, we have also manufacturing companies, and so forth and so on. So, it is considered to be a service activity simply because it provides information to these different entities. What are these different, what are these information that has been provided? These are the so-called quantitative information. So, from the term itself, quantitative, okay? The quantity. Kapag sinabi natin quantity, it's more on values, more on figures, okay? About what? About the business operation itself or the business position itself, okay? And this quantitative information, are primarily financial in nature, okay? And are intended to be useful in making economic decisions with reasoned choice among alternative courses of action. So, to sum it up, it is a service activity simply because it provides information for you to be able to have a good decision, in terms of your actions for your business. Would you like it to have a franchise of it, or if it is developing, are you going to expand it, and so forth and so on. Okay. So, what are these quantitative information that we are talking about? These are what we call the financial statements. These financial statements are, we have the balance sheet, we have also the income statement, and last but not least, we have the statement of cash flows. These 3 financial statements are actually the most common financial reports that are being used by businesses in order for them to have a basis if they would like to expand or they would like to close their businesses because of some losses. Okay? So these are the common things. So later we are going to define it each para po mas maintindihan natin kung ano-ano po itong mga report na to. Moreover, these quantitative information are primarily financial in nature, as we've stated a while back in its definition as a service activity. Ibig sabihin kasi pag financial in nature, simple. It's money. Money, cash. And aside from that, in addition, they give information about economic entities and the total picture of the business enterprise. Thus, the users can make sound economic decisions with reasoned choices among alternative courses of action. They can also maximize the full potential of the resources of a business enterprise. Okay? So let's try to move on in defining what is balance sheet. Okay? Balance sheet is one of the quantitative information is considered to be a financial statement. So what is balance sheet? Balance sheet is the statement of financial condition or financial position that gives the user information about the condition of the business enterprise as of a given period of time. So financial condition, in Tagalog, kondisyon. Ano ang kondisyon? Is it financially stable? Or does the business has a financial failure? Babagsak ba yung business mo? o aakyat yung business mo. It's the condition or the position of the business. Tatagal ba ito ng ilang taon pa o kailangan mo nang isarado? So that is the balance sheet. That is the use of it. Next, we have also what we call the income statement. So from the term itself, income. Ano ba tong income? Ito yung na-acquire ng isang tao kapag siya ay nagsusweldo. That is an income for simply financial users like me. Okay, that's how I simply define it. But for accounting, income statement shows the results of operation. It is a statement that gives information to the users, the idea, whether the business enterprise makes profits or losses for a period of time. So when we say for a period of time, ibig sabihin that the statement contains figures that transpired only during the period of the statement date. Like for example, you started your income statement by December 2019 and you will end it by December 2020. So the period of time there is the whole year from December 19 to December 20. So depending on the company, there are companies that do these financial statements quarterly, monthly, and even there are annually, and there is every 6 months. So depende po yan sa isang kumpanya. And the last financial statement, is the statement of cash flows. Okay? Cash flow. Simple lang po itong intindihin. This is merely the statement that gives the information to the users about the cash sources and the cash uses of the business enterprise during a period of time. So, saan nanggagaling, saan na-acquire, saan nagagamit ang cash na meron sa business. O, dito pumapasok yung cash operations ng business. Dito papasok yung revenue and expenses ng business including liabilities. Okay? Next, we now move forward to the second definition of what is accounting. So kanina sabi natin accounting is a service activity. Now, it is a process. It is a process of recording, classifying, summarizing in a significant manner and in terms of money, transactions, events, which are in part, at least, of a financial in character and interpreting the results thereof. So accounting in this sense explains how quantitative information is being processed according to their ultimate uses. So going back to the definition of accounting, it states that the recording, classifying, and summarizing must be in terms of money, transactions, and events. So money, simpleng intindihin lang yan. It's cash. Okay? Transactions is the exchange of values. So values are money, rights, properties, and services. Therefore, if there are exchanges among these values, there will be transactions which should be recorded in the official book of accounts. Transactions, like for example, papasok ka sa isang parlor para magpagupit. The transaction that we are calling there is, pag pumasok ka sa parlor, at andyan yung naggugupit, okay? The naggugupit now is giving a service of cutting your hair, and you is giving your money as an exchange to the services that the manggugupit, no, has been given you. So that is considered to be a transaction. Another is event. It is the act of happening. In accounting, an event must have an impact in the business enterprise. Most of the time, negative account is recorded, then positive. Impact in this sense means losses. Quantifiable in terms of money on the part of the business enterprise caused by an event. For example, there had been a typhoon that hit Metro Manila. Or, sa mas legit na calamity na meron tayo ngayon. an event that we have today is the pandemic COVID-19, which had affected the financial status of the school, or financial status of each and every individual in the whole world, just like your parents, just like me, just like the school. So that can be considered an event. For a business, it will be recorded simply because it entails losses to the business. Okay? So that is an event. So likewise, money, transaction, and event justify your definition of accounting that is financial in nature. Now let's individually define the processes of accounting. First, the recording. Recording is simply the writing down of business transaction in the official book of accounts. This official book of accounts is important because it is where business transactions are recorded. They are not just simply recorded in any kind of book that the accountant or the owner wants. They should be recorded in an official book duly registered in the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Okay? That may be a proof that your business is legit. Another is classifying. This process now is the sorting out of business transactions to their specific accounts. These specific accounts now will be defined later on our next lessons. Okay, so in the classification, it can either be an asset, an expense, a revenue, or an equity, or receivable ba ito, o kaya naman ay withdrawal ito, and so forth and so on. So that is the second process. The third process is what we call the summarizing. Okay, this is now the summing up of business transactions recorded in the book of accounts. So most probably ito yung pinakamatrabaho sa lahat because you are going to summarize or sum up all the transactions that has been done inside the business. So these three processes comprise now the first phase of accounting. So the first phase of accounting is now what we call bookkeeping. What is this bookkeeping? Bookkeeping is defined as a systematic and chronological recording of business transaction, observing therein the fundamental principles of accounting. A bookkeeper's work is therefore called bookkeeping. The word chronological means the transaction should be recorded in accordance with the date of the business transaction from the first day of the month to the last day of the month. Okay, so from the first day of the month to the last day of the month. So ibig sabihin from August 1 to August 30. So that would be the job of the bookkeeper, in entailing the reports of the business. So in actual practice, a bookkeeper's work covers the recording of the preparation of trial balance. Later on, we're going to explain what is trial balance. The preparation of trial balance is supposedly the end product of a bookkeeper and the starting point of an accountant's work. So the last phase of the process, or the last process of accounting, is what we call interpreting, which is now considered to be the last phase of accounting. Okay? It is not really enough that financial statements should be prepared. They should also be interpreted so that they can be used appropriately in decision-making process. In order for a certain company na mag-decide properly kung ano ang gagawin para sa business. So like for instance, our school again. So during the first pandemic months, it's really hard for our school to decide kung ano ba talagang gagawin. Are we going to continue for the school, for the students, or what? So later on, since the interpreted values are okay naman, so they decided to continue for the school, decided for an alternative that we are using today, which is online learning. Kaya nandito tayo ngayon, okay? Because it's part of their decision making. Our last definition about accounting is a language of business. It is a language of business simply because it provides, or it is considered to be, a communication, okay? A communication, or it entails communication, but communicating financial statement to every user, of course, no? In a financial statement that are able to understand or simply easily understand a certain report. So it is a language of business. Well, in standard English, no, this could mean differently, but when using accounting, no, we are going to understand it as communicating financial statement to users in order for them to understand, no, what has gone through to their business. So later on, no, you will probably use these definitions to understand fully on how to put up your business. So the relevance of it, no, is based from its definitions. As a starting point for this course is for you to be able to properly manage your money, to be able for you to know where your money is coming from, or where are you going to spend for your money, are you going to save money, and most probably you might use this, no, or you might use this as a knowledge to start your own business later on if you're going to put up your own IT industry. And it has a lot of relevance to each and every individual in different kind of transactions and events. And so, this is the end of my lecture. If you have any questions or queries regarding the lecture, you might key in your questions or your suggestions and your ideas regarding the topic on our group. You are very open there, or you can apparently PM me po sa messenger. So, thank you so much for listening. I do hope you had a good day on listening this lecture, and stay safe always, mga adik. Good day.